What's going on, everybody? Commissioner's Cup Championship tonight. Should be a great game. Let's get everyone in here and see what all questions people have. This game won't take long to discuss, so we'll knock it out real quick and then we'll answer some questions and go watch this game. On the Minnesota side, I mean, it's pretty straightforward in my opinion. You just play Fee. If she busts, then I mean, you just live with it. But I'm expecting her to play the entire game. Anytime it's been a bigger game against a good team, she's pushed for every minute of the game, especially late. She was on pace to play the entire game against Phoenix. Didn't play the last couple minutes because of the blowout. Pretty much any big game, she's going to play a ton, assuming no foul trouble. Alana Smith, though, her minutes are on the downtick. I am worried about her minutes a little bit. Even though this is going to be like a playoff game, they're going to play Dorka. Like, Dorka's in their rotation. She's in their plans. So she will eat into Alana Smith's minutes. Kayla McBride should see an uptick, should see 33 to 35 minutes. Good play. Shooter. It is her birthday if you buy into that narrative. Courtney Williams, 8,200. Salute is playing. I'm assuming she's starting. We haven't got official starters yet, but I like Courtney Williams because she's going to draw Salute defense, can stuff the stat sheet. Kind of going overlooked in my opinion, and has really, really big upside. Price is really solid on her. Carrollton's fine, going to play low 30s minutes, potential to play mid 30s. Decent shooter, needs to hit her threes to really hit value though. Natisha Heidemann is one of the other value plays for Minnesota here. She's going to play, let's say, 10 to 14 minutes off the bench, I would expect. Can get there. She does have some really bad games though as well, so kind of risky. The cheap option here is Xanda Lassini. I know for a fact that she is going to play. She's going to get at least one rotation. 4 minutes, maybe the potential to play around 10. Decent three-point shooter. Pretty score independent, though, so you have to know what you're getting out of her. I don't mind her at that price, though, because you know she's going to absolutely play. I don't have confidence that Afufa, Kone, or Peely get run. On the New York side, obviously the big three still look great. Slight downtick to Sabrina, the most of the big three. With Laney and Salute on track to play. Still really love Stewie. I mean, she can pop any slate. She doesn't have to shoot it a ton, but when she is aggressive, she can go crazy for like 65 like she just did. John Quill, super efficient as well. Doesn't have to shoot it a ton. Can get you the peripheral stats. I don't mind her. Like I said, I am a little lower on Sabrina than the field. Just with Salute back running the point is a hit to her assist upside. She's been shooting the ball really well of late and taking a bunch of threes. I would imagine her shots are going to come down. Like, she's not going to keep getting to put up 20 shots a game. If she does, I mean, it's a great tournament play if you think the shots continue. Laney and Salute, really hard to play both of them. With them being on minutes limits, I would expect 20 to 25, maybe somewhere right around there. I haven't projected for right at 20. Thornton, Febich, fine plays off the bench, but priced up from when Salute and Laney were out. So kind of hard to get to them at those prices. Dochkic is fine. I have her projected for 8 minutes, and then you can take a shot on like a Kennedy Burke at the flat min at 1K. She's not going to play 18 minutes. She played that because of the blowout. I have her projected for about 6 minutes. I could see her playing closer to like this 8-minute range. It all hinges on what happens with Salute and Laney, how many minutes they play. If they play high 20s, like if they play 25 to 28 minutes, it's going to make it really hard for like a Kennedy Burke to get there, or a Dochkic, or especially like a Thornton or Febich, who are low fantasy point per minute players and priced up. So my favorite value is probably going to be Zandalicini. But, I mean, if you're looking for just a sheer punt, Kennedy Burke is the flat min and should play 6 minutes. 4 to 8 minutes is a relative number that I would expect from her. And, I mean, it doesn't take much when you're the flat min to hit 4X. I mean, 4 fantasy points. So there's ways to get different. There's ways to just skate by. For me, I think the optimal way to go is to pick one cheap play and then try and play a bunch of starters, even if you're playing a mid-range captain. But there's a bunch of different ways like you can go about it. You can tackle a lineup where you play like Courtney Williams at captain, and then you pick like you obviously I'm playing fee no matter what. Then you pick maybe one of the big three and hope you pick them right. Like let's say you pick Jonquel Jones, then you go down here, you pick Kennedy Burke, and then you still have 78.50. You could, in theory, go up here and pick one more of the New York bigs, like their big three, and then come down here and pick one of the mid-range. Or you pay up for one of the top end, like a Fee or a Stewie, and you double punt. Or you just play a lot of mid-range. Maybe you pick 2 and then just go to a lot of mid-range and 1 punt. There's a lot of ways to go about this slate. All I know is the starters are going to play massive minutes, especially the best players. Like, I mean, they're playing for a decent chunk of change tonight. Like this is equivalent to a WNBA finals rotation is what I'm expecting and what previous seasons have shown. I would expect Stewie, who normally plays 35, 36, maybe even 37 minutes. It would not shock me if she plays the entire game, or pushes for 38, 39 minutes, maybe takes a breather at the very end of the first quarter and the very end of the third quarter. Would not shock me at all. Jonquel Jones, who usually plays 33 minutes, can sometimes touch 36. It wouldn't shock me if she plays 36 or 37 minutes, assuming no foul trouble, obviously. Sabrina has been playing 34, 35, 36, 38. Wouldn't shock me if she plays 38 minutes. Then you look down at like Benajelani and Sloot. There's really no way to know for sure how many minutes they're going to play. When they say they're going to be limited, like, is it 15 minutes? Is it 18 minutes? Is it 24 minutes? Like, they're playing for money. So it's not like a normal game where limitations are set in stone and they're not going to go away from it. Like, if Sloot and Laney both come out and are playing well and tell Sandy, like, hey, I feel good, she's going to leave them out there, like 100%. She trusts her players. So it's kind of risky, but it makes for a fun slate. So let's answer some questions. Ugly night. Yep, it is. I kind of like it, though. I love when these showdowns that are for a good chunk of change, I mean, both on the court and on the DFS streets. Like, I kind of like when it's kind of gross. You gotta hold your nose to maybe make a play or two. 500K reasons to ball out, absolutely. And I mean, someone's gonna win the Commissioner's Cup MVP and get them a little bit of extra change. So let's see. I think we did get starters. Nope, just Courtney Vandersloot and Benajelani no longer on injury report. Somebody see starters, just throw them in here. I haven't seen them yet. Number one captain and number one punt. The number one captain for me is Fee, and the number one punt is probably just Burke, and hope she plays. Like, I'm expecting her to get at least one rotation. She might get like a smidge second rotation, and if she does, you just do backflips. Obviously, if you have the extra salary, Zandalicini is absolutely safer. I'm expecting her to play 2 rotations, at least 8 to 10 minutes. Neither of them are good fantasy point per minute players, but at their prices and what they unlock, like, I mean, if you want to play the top end, you got to play some gross plays. So it sucks, but that is what it is. Cash play, Courtney McBride or Alana. Thanks. For me, it's going to be Courtney. Man, I don't know. I'm bullish on Courtney. I think Courtney's going to play at least 30 minutes, and if she does, she's the best play of the three. So that's my opinion. The straight up safe answer, like if you're looking for safety, if you think Courtney Williams could come out and maybe like Zandalasini plays extra because she's struggling, it would be McBride. But for me, I think they want Courtney's offense and her playmaking ability on the floor. I think my projection on her might be low at only 30 minutes. I'm really high on Courtney Williams tonight. Would you lean the mid-range over Laney and Sloot? I do. It's gross, and if they just don't have a minutes limit, we just get incredibly tilted. But it's hard to prioritize $8,000 Benaj Laney or $7,200 Courtney Vandersloot over Bridget Carrollton, who's 6,800, and we know for an absolute fact she's going to play 33, 34, somewhere around those minutes range, and can put up a decent day if she's getting some boards and shooting well. Then you know what you're getting out of Dorka. Now you're probably getting to a point where, like, is that cost really worth it? Like, would you be better off? In my opinion, I'm playing Dorka over Benaj Laney because that's $1,500 in salary savings. And Sloot's kind of close because they're really close. I'm playing Carrollton over both of them, though, like without a doubt. And just hoping that my guess at the minutes limit, because obviously we're not going to get it, is they're going to play 18 to 20. The mid-range is overpriced. Yep. It sucks because like this would be the perfect showdown slate to play like a Thornton or a Phoebich. Both aren't the best fantasy point per minute players, but they're just not cheap because they've been starting and playing decent, and now they're just priced up. I mean, they're both priced over Natisha Heidemann, and I would play Natisha Heidemann probably over both of them because she's a better fantasy point per minute player. And if for some reason like Courtney Williams gets benched, it's probably for Natisha Heidemann, who's playing well. So it's a fun slate, but there's a lot of just random BS that could hit. It could be weird. I do think Burke sees the floor, only because the two New York starters are limited. I think she's going to get at least one rotation. Star captain seems like the move. I agree. I think really, I think Minnesota wins. That's why I'm playing Fee at captain. If you think New York wins, you should go one of the New York stars at captain. I'm hoping that Fee comes in a little lower owned. People are going to be picking New York to win. So I'm just going off that. And I mean, I love Nafisa Collier. Will Peely see any rotation? I don't think so. I'm not expecting her to play. Double punt is super scary. It is gross. Link starting Sewell, McBride, Carrollton, Fee, and Smith. So no surprise there. But yeah, double punt is extremely gross. But when you have super high usage stars up top, it's really hard to not want to double punt. Especially in a game where they're just going to play huge minutes. Like all of the stars are practically going to play the entire game. Laney and Sloot both off the injury report. Yep. Zandosini, Carrollton, or Burke, McBride. I probably lean Burke and McBride. I think Burke can get close to matching Zandalasini, and that extra $1,600 salary. I mean, you want the upside in Kayla McBride over Bridget Carrollton. Dochkic's playable. I do think she is playable. I'm not crazy about her. Just at 3,800, I'm expecting her to play 8 to 10 minutes. But at her price, it's not like someone that I would rather just play Zandalasini or Burke just because they're that much cheaper. Let's see here. Liberty will start Sabrina, Benaja Laney, Kayla Thornton, Stewie, and JJ. So Courtney Vandersloot is not starting. I kind of like it. I think it means that we're going to get Sloot's just going to come off the bench. They may try this going forward as like a second unit thing, but Thornton looks better because she's starting, but I just don't like the price. I don't think it's going to change her minutes very much. I think she's still going to play. I have her projected for like 16 minutes. I think that's where she's going to end up. They're going to play her and Febich about the same. She's just not a very good fantasy point per minute player, but if she's hitting her threes, she's going to be in the optimal. It's just if you want to pay that price tag for her. Vandersloot's risky. Yep. I agree. My first build that I had, I was playing Sloot and ended up going away from it, but I believe Sloot's going to play really well. I just don't trust the minutes, especially her coming off the bench. I think her minutes are going to could be even lower than Laney's. Burke for me. Burke over Peely for sure. I think Burke plays, but Peely does not. Stewie, your feed captain, just depends who you have winning the game. For me, I have Minnesota. I picked Minnesota to win, so I'm going fee. If you think New York wins, I would suggest playing a New York captain. Just as a correlation, and most of the time in WNBA showdown, the winning lineup, the captain play is on the winning team. McBride or Sewell, I think it's super, super close. Eileen Sewell, she's not going up against Sloot's defense now, but I still like the peripheral upside on Courtney Williams. And she can, I mean, if she scores in double figures, she's going to pop. Laney starting, yep. Another $20K to first for tonight or for Thursday night? Let's look. I was looking at the Queen of the Court for tonight. It's not filling. That's crazy. Let's see. Yeah, the Queen of the Court has 40 open spots with 10 minutes to go. That's crazy. Oh yeah, so we've got 20K. We've got 20K to first on Thursday. Yeah, I hope they keep that up. That's awesome. Let's see here. Yep. I love Sloot. Like I'm not playing her, but I think she's super sneaky. I really do. I don't think it affects like how many minutes she's going to play. I would expect to see her for 18 to 20 off the bench. It does give me a little worry with Burke because now the only players coming off their bench are guards. Now you've got Dochkich, Febich, Sloot, and Burke. But I mean, if you're punting with Burke, you just want her to see the floor. It doesn't matter how long she's out there. If she does anything, it's worth it. Most likely to play Burke or Peely, Burke. I don't think Peely plays at all. Like I think if you look at Minnesota, like they're gonna play like their starters, the starting five, Dorka, Heidemann, and Zandalasini. That's the 8 that they're going to run. If they add a 9th to that, it's going to be Afufa. I'm not expecting her to play, so I have no expectation for Peely to play. Peely's not going to play over Zandalasini. She's not going to play over Heidemann, and she's not going to play over Dorka. And unless the game just turns into a massive blowout, I just don't see a scenario where she plays. Let's see here. Does Sloot off the bench hurt? Yeah, I just mentioned it. It does give me a little bit of hesitation because they have no more bigs. Like all 3 of their bigs are on the court, like they're starting. Makes me feel better about Stewie and JJ's minutes. Like they're probably just going to play practically the entire game, but I'm still playing Burke. I'm crossing my fingers. Sneaky captain, probably like Courtney Williams for me, or like one of these. Actually, like a sneaky captain's probably like a Sabrina, because if these shots keep up, like if she keeps taking 18, 19, 20 shots, I mean, obviously she has huge scoring upside. And I mean, it doesn't matter what, like the peripherals can be there for someone of her talent. So it's probably like a Sabrina or a Courtney Williams. I look for players that like have big peripheral upside and can do it really everywhere. I don't have anything on pick 6. I really took the day off betting. Like I took a bath on Sunday and I got incredibly tilted about it. I do think Sabrina looks a little bit better with Sloot coming off the bench. She's going to run the point. They were running Laney as the point a little bit, but with her kind of with the bum knee, I'm expecting Sabrina to come and try and ball out. Underdog on Underdog Wnba on Twitter. I have their notifications on, so anytime a starting lineup or someone's out, I get the lineups. It's very likely. It wouldn't shock me if she does, but at the flat men, if she does literally anything, it's value. So as long as she doesn't like 1 DNP or 2 play like 3 minutes and not do anything, if she gets any stats whatsoever, she's probably paying off her salary, and what she allows for you is worth it. Yeah, I still don't think Peely will get on the floor. Like if he was to get in foul trouble, they'll just play Dorka. Like it'll be Dorka and Alana together. They showed that when Carrollton was out. Like they played Fee at the 3, Dorka at the 4, and Alana at the 5. I would be absolutely floored if Peely plays in this game, unless it's just a blowout and she's playing at the very end. Fee or Stewie captain, I talked about it earlier. Really just depends who you think wins, in my opinion. I'm playing Fee at captain because I think Minnesota wins. If you think New York wins, play one of the New York big 3. For me, Fee is the most optimal, but I'm picking Minnesota to win the game. Can you rank the New York big 3? For me, it's Stewie. I rank them like Stewie, JJ, Sabrina. I'd rank the bigs a little bit more just because they're a little better fantasy point per minute wise. And anytime they're going to get more minutes, I have a lot more interest in those plays. So it's not that I don't like Sabrina. I just like the bigs a little bit more. McBride, Seawill, Laney, or Smith? Seawill. I'm really, really bullish on Courtney Williams tonight. I think she's going to play 30-plus minutes, and the ceiling is very high on her. Yeah, you can take shots. Like if you don't want to take a shot on Burke and you want to take a shot on Afufa, it's just that extra $1,400 salary when you're trying to, like if you're double punting, it's the difference between like getting up to John Quell and having to play like a Alana Smith or getting up to Sabrina and having to play like a McBride or a Laney. It's a lot. So it's just weighing your options and the risk. I think both have DNP risk, but I think Afufa is a little bit higher. But there's real merit to. I mean, you can play pretty much anybody. Like there's a chance. I'm not expecting Sikakone to play whatsoever, so I'm not even considering her. Marquisha Davis, I'm not expecting to play, so I projected her for 0 minutes. I projected Kone for 0 minutes, and I projected Peely for 0 minutes. I projected Afufa for 0 minutes, but I could see her maybe getting a run if Heidemann comes in and struggles, or if Courtney Williams isn't playing well. I'm expecting her to, so obviously I have no minutes allotted for Afufa. But there's so many different ways to run this showdown. It's such a fun game, in my opinion, because there's so many different scenarios that you can go and do. And I mean, really, like, you can talk yourself into pretty much any of them. Like, you can single punt, or you can play a cheap captain and fit a bunch of studs in, or you can double punt, or you can just play a mid-range build with one spend up. It's a really cool game. I think the game's going to be awesome. So I'm really looking forward to it. Heidemann or Thornton? Oh, I might lean Thornton now that she's starting. Yeah, I probably would say Thornton since she's starting. But this game should be good. I'm very excited. I do think Minnesota wins, though. They played them earlier this year at Minnesota, and Minnesota absolutely drubbed them. Fee put up 45. The defense just reigned supreme for them that night. New York's been on much more of a roll since then, so we'll see about this game. Let's see. We keep getting Diamond Miller's out. Obviously, never really expected her to play. Seeing that, oh yeah, she is in the player pool, 5K. But I think that's going to do it for me, guys. Good luck to everybody. I hope somebody is at the top of the rankings tonight, and no games tomorrow. So I'll be back tomorrow night with the YouTube video for the slate on Thursday. We're back on Thursday, and I think we're running like 10 days in a row again. I'm ready. I've enjoyed the day off yesterday. Pretty much the day off today, which is a showdown game, and then the day off tomorrow. The itch to play WNBA DFS, it never goes away. So good luck to everybody, and we'll see you Thursday night for the live stream.